Hey guys, fantastic news. We've got Inside True Crime Matt Cox back on the channel. I love this guy. Matt's been federally indicted. Hey, Trump's been federally indicted. Let's see what Matt has to say about Trump's current legal troubles and his chances of becoming president in the next election. Let's check it out. I have not streamed with you in months. And since the last time we streamed, your channel is just on a tear, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, we had a big jump. I've had about 2 or 3 videos that did really well, and it jumped. And then after that happened, they all kind of every video, not every video, but periodically, I'm getting better and better views across the board.
I think your content is great, and I think your viewers who are not subscribed to you have some learning to do. They have room for improvement. That's what I'm going to say.
So let's do something that will probably get me demonetized. Let's talk about Trump. So, every time I talk about politics, the video gets like limited monetization.
Oh, wow. I don't cover politics too much on my channel, which is kind of weird because a lot of politicians get in trouble with the law, but my viewers don't like it too much. But it's so fascinating, and it's an opportunity for people to learn how the system works.
I love the comment he said, if he gets indicted one more time, it'll push him over the top. His whole, mantra of they're out to get me, and I'm standing in the way of them getting you. And then they start indicting him for the same types of things that all the politicians do, then that's a mistake.
Politically, it's not harmful to him. I think, well, at least in his own party. And I don't know if you follow like the Republican debates. I mean, those things are just snooze fest. Everyone there is obsessed with him. The candidates want to talk about him. The people asking questions want to talk about him.
And he doesn't even show up.
No, he doesn't. No, he's just like at home tweeting or Xing or truth socialing.
There's no benefit. Like to him, if you're already winning, if you're already way ahead of the polls, what's the benefit to him going to these to these debates? Like there's only more of a chance people will say bad things about him, bring his poll numbers down, or he'll put I know you're going to say, Matt, that's not possible, but he may end up putting his foot in his own mouth. Like I know you're thinking, no, stop it. But yeah, that's possible. And the nice thing about being in politics this long is Trump, I think, has evolved to a point where he's starting to realize I need to think before I talk. I need to start making strategic decisions instead of these emotional decisions.
He's very cunning in the way that he talks because his followers hear a certain thing and his haters hear it a very different way. And
that's like everybody, isn't it?
It is remarkable that he really is like a mirror. He's almost like he's not there. And you see in the reflection when you look at him the thing that you want to see. And if he's your guy, you see this great guy who's standing up for you. They're not coming for the billionaire to put him in prison. They're coming for you who makes $40,000 a year, right? Or if you hate him, you see him and you see all of the worst parts of our society all in one person.
Back to his indictment. Or one of the indictments.
You can't say it in the singular, but go on.
Right. What are the indictments? Where are these?
So he got accused of a civil offense in New York, and that recently went very poorly for him. It's set for trial next Monday. The parties had filed competing motions for summary judgment in which the attorney general said, look, it's so obvious that you inflated your values when talking to lenders and insurance companies and deflated them when talking to taxing authorities that you shouldn't be allowed to go to trial. He filed some papers that basically said the opposite of that. Yeah, we don't need a trial on this, but the reason is that it's so obvious that no one was harmed by this. It actually came down to the wire, and the judge issued an order earlier this week siding with the Attorney General of New York. Again, this is not criminal though. They revoked the state business license, which I don't think that's that big of a deal. But then they are going to have a trial where the Attorney General asks for money, like actual cash. And if there's not cash on hand and he gets, or she Letitia James, if she gets what she wants, he may have to sell one of his buildings to get some cash to pay the fines. Of course, this is years down the road because he's just going to keep appealing.
I was going to say he'll appeal it, and it'll be 8 years down the road, and they'll negotiate it down to from $10 million down to, 500,000 or something. So what are the other indictments? What are the criminal ones?
So in Georgia, he's got this phone call where he says, I want you to find me, 11,000 something votes, so I can win. There's actually some other elements to that, but it's basically a RICO, a racketeer influence corrupt organizations charge. The Georgia state RICO statute is intense. It's not a net you want to get caught up in. I don't see how they can actually put that case on in court in under, I'm going to say not in under 40 days of trial. You're talking about weeks and weeks and weeks. And this is a criminal case. The defendant has to be there. And they're saying they want to do this during the campaign season. So on top of Georgia, he has the documents case in Florida. That case is easy to try. They have already flipped a couple of key witnesses. And to the extent that you can be dead for mishandling documents, he's dead. Now, I don't think it's a very sexy charge. I don't think it's that big a deal. I guarantee you the people who are excited about him politically don't give a rip.
Right.
And it is an open question about whether being convicted under that statute would prevent him from being president. But the answer appears to be no, it would not. He literally could govern from prison.
Yeah, you can be a felon and be the president of the United States.
Yeah. And then he has the January 6th thing in D.C. Now, that one is interesting because he didn't really say to do the things that they did, or that they ended up doing. But he did not say to not do them either. And so it's like, it doesn't seem like a great criminal case to me. I don't know. We'll see.
So what happens if he goes to trial and wins every single one of these?
Wow.
He's acquitted.
The question is, does that bring people into his camp who are kind of on the fence, right?
I don't think so. I don't think it changes anything.
I could see him shedding some fringe people if he's convicted or if he's in prison, or what I think is more likely is if he has some sort of house arrest deal. If they get to trial in Florida on that case and it's simple and he broke the law and he gets convicted, it's a documents case. They give him house arrest. It doesn't really change that much. I don't think that moves the needle politically.
So okay. So you're saying what if he's found guilty on all counts and still wins the presidency? Come on.
So I don't know how far down the rabbit hole you go.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for across the board convictions and he becomes president. That to me, the comedic effect of that is so worth it.
That would be like Nate Light, late night comedian fodder for eternity, basically. Are you aware that some Democratic political operatives in Colorado and maybe another state also, I can't remember, have filed a lawsuit to declare that Trump participated in an insurrection and that under the 14th Amendment, he is barred from holding an elected office in the United States. Have you seen this?
No.
No, it's fascinating. So you probably already know the 14th Amendment is the one that guarantees due process. It's called the Civil War Amendment. It's what helped us fix a lot of the institutional racism in this country to the extent that we've been able to overcome it. It has a clause that says if you were an insurrectionist or if you aided and abetted insurrectionists, then you can't hold a federal public office. And it was just for the Civil War. But there are people who have filed a lawsuit to keep Trump off the ballot in Colorado. And I know it's going to happen in other states as well, to say, oh, he was a part of this insurrection, so he can't run. That one is fascinating because here's why. No matter what the outcome is, it goes up to the Supreme Court. And literally, the U.S. Supreme Court is going to say whether Donald Trump can be or can't be on the presidential ballot. That part is happening, and it has nothing to do with whether or not he's ever convicted of anything. Not to, trot out a name, but it trumps all of those criminal charges, actually. You like that? That's good, right?
But he hasn't been convicted. Like, that doesn't make sense that you're saying.
Yeah. So the 14th Amendment doesn't require you to be convicted. It just requires a judge to say that you participated in an insurrection. Now, when they wrote the 14th Amendment, they were talking about this one insurrection that started on April 12th of 1861 and ended on April 9th of 1865. And that's it. But I mean, it says what it says, and these people are ready to go to war over it. I don't know. What happens? What do you think happens at the Supreme Court if they basically get the opportunity to remove Trump forever from the national political discourse?
I honestly think that it really has turned into such a banana republic at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I would think I keep thinking at some point, cooler heads will prevail, and they will say, listen, we thought we would do this. It would embarrass him. He would drop out. We would drop the charge. Like, these are kind of, veiled threats. And we were hoping he would just say, you know what, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. And he's not. And here's the thing. It would bother me if they were Democrat, if this was the Republicans doing this to a Democrat, it would bother me. It has nothing to do with him being a conservative or not. It's that, what are you doing when you're saying, hey, all of these politicians do these types of things. We never bother them, but now we're going to go after this one person. There's corruption everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that. I know that.
Whoa, yeah.
I still like to think that we have, one of the least corrupt governments out there. Not because nobody's not corrupt. Anytime you have humans taking part in a system, no matter how the system is built, there's going to be corruption. I still like to say, in the end, the system pretty much works. This is not the system working.
Like, not to beat a dead horse, but these candidates, they're clowns. They're both clowns. Right. I don't understand how the political machines on both sides cannot produce better candidates. I mean, I feel like you could just take a normal 40-year-old and say, we want you to be president, and they'd be less problematic than these two guys.
Just across the board, all of these candidates, and I don't just mean, we're not just talking Biden and Trump. I'm saying in DeSantis, like all of them have these major, Chris Christie, like they all have such issues. Let's take DeSantis. You're governor. You absolutely are just, look, Republican or not, whatever, I think he's a great governor for Florida. Okay. You're governor, you just run again. You overwhelmingly win the vote again in Florida.
He whipped it, right?
It was ridiculous.
Okay.
Florida residents, for the most part, love you. Now you go and decide, hey, I'm going to run for president. Initially, it wasn't for sure, is Trump going to run? So that he decides he's going to run. Trump runs. People try and give him an out and say, listen, would you consider being vice president? He says, I'm not really a second chair guy. I don't think I could take the okay, you're overwhelmingly cocky. It's so cocky, it's now obnoxious. Like, I like cocky, but you're obnoxiously cocky.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, you're young. You're young.
He's half the age of a normal presidential candidate these days.
Just wait. You can be governor of you're governor. You've been governor of Florida. You're still governor of Florida. You could be governor of Florida. You can, I think he can run again. Like, you've got a great run in you. You've got nothing but proving ground ahead of you to say, look, I took Florida. Here's the things I did. Here's the things that worked. You can run anytime in the future. Time's not running out. You're not 70. You're not 75. You're a young man.
50,
wait,
is he?
Huh? I think he's in late 40s, early 50s. Is he? Yeah, I think he's in late 40s.
Yeah. Hey, Siri, how old is Ron DeSantis? 45 years old. I wish I was 45.
And instead, he says, no, I'm going to run against Trump. Anybody that runs against Trump is foolish because Trump is a child. He will gut you. He will say vicious things. He will manipulate what's really happening. He'll give you the name. Listen, I can't look at Jeb Bush without thinking low energy Jeb Bush.
Jeb Bush is a low energy person.
I know.
I can't. He'll tag you with some name.
Yep.
And
it's all very schoolyard bullyish.
Yeah.
And he doesn't need it. There's this kind of low-key simmering potential indictment in the background that hasn't happened yet, but it could. It might be like a Democrat fever dream, but there's a rumor that the dude who did the indictment in Florida and DC, his name is Jack Smith, is currently investigating the political donation money, so campaign finance stuff. And those charges would be crazy because if they make a certain threshold preliminary showing, they get to freeze the money.
Are they holding back on it? Like this one, we can get him. We can shut everything down with this one. Let's wait and see what happens with these. But if he gets close, we file this one.
I just don't understand how, like, it took them so long to indict Trump. If I was accused of the stuff that they're accusing him of, dude, I would have been indicted like a year and a half ago.
I don't even know. I think if I say the word Hunter Biden or I say the kickbacks or no, the kickbacks or the quid pro quo that was being played with these oligarchies. And,
yeah.
You're
not allowed to talk about that.
YouTube just sent something to everybody saying if you mention this, how can I say it? Hold on. Special operation going on between the evil empire and these other people that used to be a part of the evil empire. If you even mention that in like, did you see though? Did you get that email that said all the things you can't talk about? If you even mention it, you'll become demonetized.
No, my producer's telling me that neither one of us saw that email. And she's also telling me that there's no way that I'm going to take my shirt off on your channel and show you a shirt that I got made for my channel, because she won't let me go shirtless on my channel. Can I do it on your channel?
What is the shirt? What's the shirt say?
Yeah. All right, here we go. You ready? All right, check this out. I got this made. This won't end up on my channel. My editor will cut it out. I'm not selling merch on my channel, but check this out, dude. Got this right here. That's pretty fun, right? You like that?
Why won't she put that on your channel?
Oh, she'll let me wear the t-shirt, but she's not going to let me. She'll cut this out of my video. She's not going to let me change clothes on camera.
Why?
It's a family channel, man.
So how do you think the whole thing plays out?
There's going to be a conviction in Florida before the election. There really is. I don't know what that's going to mean, but he will get convicted on the documents. The other ones, I really could see them getting stretched out until after the election. Hard to say.
You mean like the trial will be stretched out, or you think?
Yeah.
Or why not just delay the trial?
Well, I mean,
you don't think the judge will do it?
Look, Trump is using like thuggish criminal behavior in politics, and now the political system is using criminal prosecution against him as politics. I mean, they're just in a firefight. Both sides kind of doing the same thing, and they don't want to let go. They want to keep firing at him.
What is the punishment? You're saying house arrest?
Yeah, I think he gets house arrest. I think that he wins the Republican nomination, and I think he loses in a general election because I don't think his brand extends far enough across the aisle. And I also, pro tip, don't think he'll be running against Biden a year from now. I think next April, Biden says, I'm too old, I can't do it. I hereby bequeath the crown to so-and-so. They'll find someone that's younger, not offensive. It's not Kamala Harris. And that person will be more of a centrist and will easily win. Tell me what you think's going to happen. Like, you've been through the prisons, the legal system. You think it's going to touch Trump?
Honestly, I wish I could even listen. I don't even have I have so little knowledge on the entire subject other than what I get from bits and pieces here and there. Like I have no idea of what's going to happen. I can't even venture a guess. I mean, it would just completely be kind of caveman logic of, I can't imagine he's found guilty, but then again, everything about this whole situation is so insane. Either way, it's great to kick back and just kind of watch.
Yes, it's entertainment. It's wild.
So,
and there's so many different possibilities. It's hard to know what will happen. But I'm telling you, I think a non-Biden Democrat wins the presidential election against a House-arrested Trump in 14 months. Write it down. Let's see if I'm right.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Matt Cox. This guy knows a thing or two about the legal system because he's seen a thing or two. If you like this interview, you got to let me know down in the comments, and check out this video right here if you want more Josh and Matt content, or this video right here if you want my breakdown of one of the many, many Trump indictments. I'll see you soon. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe.